I have alternatives that my kids could play, but it's different. What are my thoughts about the Nex Playground after owning it for over a year now? I made a review video about the Nex Playground about a year ago, and to this point, I think it's about time I updated you on things that have changed and talk a little bit more about that very hot topic, subscription, that many of you guys keep commenting about. And overall, do I still think it's worth owning after a year? Just a quick update, this video is not sponsored, and I also want to note that I personally purchased this Nex myself as well as the subscription. So I am paying for all that stuff myself. Alright, so to make this video interesting, what I decided to do is I'm actually going to play the Nex while I'm trying to tell you everything I think about it and just riff off of it. So the Nex Playground originally was $200. Now it is $250. This is actually a little bit harder than I thought, playing this game and trying to talk to you guys. Alright, so let's get straight to it. Let's talk about what everyone wants to talk about, and that's the subscription model, because that is the probably single most comment I've received from, well, the most comment I received from all of you guys is about the subscription. And the price of it has not changed. It is still the same as usual, which is a great deal. You're paying probably less than $7.50 a month if you think about it. Personally, I really don't mind paying it. And I know many of you guys are probably thinking, man, if it wasn't subscription, I want to buy the games. But they really do have a lot of games. I'm gonna have to stop this because I want to show you guys the games. All right, so let's go back to the very top. I'm hoping my other camera catches everything that's on the screen right now. And I apologize for the quality because I don't have my screen capture set up. Let's take a look. The first thing has the updated games, and then bam, has all these games now. Look, this one came out. I wanted to play this one earlier, but I haven't played it before, so I didn't want to get too distracted and not able to talk to you guys. How to Train a Dragon, Care Bear, Ninja Turtles, Kung Fu Panda. These are all properties that your kid probably knows, or I know you probably know at least many of these, as I know Care Bear and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle are stuff I grew up with. Then you have music dance games. So a lot of people don't, so the Story is one of the games that actually comes with the Nex Playground even before you do any subscription. And that's really good because Story is basically like a advanced version of Just Dance. It's a really fun game. Barbie is actually pretty hard. You can see the age rating on it. It says 6 and up. Okay, then there's a bunch of arcade games. Fruit Ninja is the one that comes with it. It's another one that my son has a blast with. Aero Party is fun. It's a little bit harder. A lot of these games are now 6 and up, which my son just turned 6, so he's starting to get a little bit more into these games. Then Health and Fitness is the ones I play most because I find it something easier, a little bit more fun than just doing the typical gym stuff. As you can see right there, I do have some weights. Then there are the party games. Murorama is something my daughter really loves playing with. It's basically just, if you ever use the Instagram filters, this is what it is. These are all great party games. Candyland is definitely one of my son's favorite game right now, probably his favorite. He just loves running and doing all the jumping with the Candyland. Doesn't really have anything too much to do with the actual Candyland board game, but it's fun. And then now these are the games for younger kids. So one question I also get asked quite a bit is this going to be okay for my child that's maybe 3 years old or even younger? So many of these games are fun even for kids that are not 3 yet. For example, the Peppa game, my daughter was having fun playing it and she was only 2 at a time. Then these are puzzle games. These are definitely the hardest of all the games. Does take a little bit of get used to. Then now we have a bunch of sports games. So with all those games added up, you get 5 default games and I think about 36 games. So that's 41 games. And that's not including what they have called the Nex Labs. So these are like fun mini games. They're a little bit trivia and everything, like Geodarts here. Let me just show you what it is. It's a fun game where you actually throw darts into, well, you learn about geography by throwing darts. This is a fun one, really for adults even. It's you're just learning about geography. You can right now either pick, I haven't done it too much, so press enter to begin. It's the United States. So Alaska, you kind of move your hand to where it is, and then push the enter button, and you throw it at it. So you move your hand, but you need to keep the remote for this. There's one of the few games where you actually have to keep the remote. And then all of these are something similar to that. Although Sword Slash is another fun one, basically using a sword and slashing stuff. Haven't played with too much of it myself yet, but I can imagine this one being pretty fun. Okay, so the Slash game. Look, I mean, you're basically, you know, if you think about RPGs, this is basically like Dragon Quest back in the days. So if you're a gamer, you know what I'm talking about. If not, it's still pretty fun. You're just slicing stuff. It's pretty, you know, not much thinking game. Just keep playing and just fighting stuff. Okay, before I get too addicted to this, I gotta move on. You get 41 games plus these 6 lab games, and then they have another 7 games coming out this summer. So you take it for yourself. Is the subscription worth it? Personally, I think it is. Look at all these games. I assume Sword Slash Adventures can be very close to the Sword Slash here, but it's a real game where you actually level up. That'd be great if it's like an RPG or something like that. Looking forward to that one, since I love RPG. Like another workout app, Zumba. Was missing a baseball game, now it's here. All right, so basically for $89 for a year, you get access to all these games. You don't have to worry about purchasing them. I know many people, I know this one, everyone's asking, if only if I could buy the games. But the problem with it is these games, not all of them are big games, and some of them maybe you only play once or twice, and some of these party games, you know, they're only fun when there's parties, so you're not gonna be playing them all the time. So for me, it doesn't make sense for me to have to buy every single one of these games. So if you think about it, there was 41 games, it comes with 5, 36. You get another 6 of these, that makes it back to 42, and then another 7. So 49 games. Even if they're $5 a pop, you know, price adds up. It's more than that $89 a year. And let's be honest, many times you feel like you own it, you might not be playing it in another 3 years or so. But I can see my kids playing this because I've seen on the community where much older kids are loving this. Even kids into the early teens have enjoyed playing this because some of these games are really hard, even for me. So for my son who's 6-year-old, this is still fun. All right, so let's talk about the Facebook group a little more. It's basically a place where you would go to get answers and questions and join basically like any other Facebook community. You can use it to either ask questions, have suggestions, and a great thing about this community is regardless of any other video game places that you've ever been, or you know, Switch, Sony, Microsoft, you're not going to find a community like this where the CEO or even other reps regularly interact with the users. I think this is great because this means they're always listening, so your opinion is heard over there. They try their best to always answer all the questions that I've seen. Funny enough, this bowling game is actually what got me taking my child to go bowling, or my children to go bowling, because after they play this, they seem very interested in bowling. So I took them bowling because of this game, and then they were able to enjoy it and have fun. Although it's definitely much harder to do real life bowling than this. Although this is pretty hard too. Maybe let me try taking the controller off. Can't get the spin. I've done it once or twice. I should probably ask the the Facebook group. One last thing I always see a lot from you guys, or a lot of people have been commenting on, is that why don't you just get a Switch or a Wii U for your kid, or even a Kinect? Well, first off, the Kinect is really hard to find. You get no new games. Here you're getting brand new games with characters your kids know. Well, you're definitely not gonna find a game with Barbie, Kung Fu Panda, and Ninja Turtle on the Kinect. Then what about the Wii or the Switch? Those are a little bit newer, or the Wii is not as new, it's pretty old. They actually don't have too many kid games either, besides the typical bowling game that came with it, the Wii Sports game. But I own the Switch and the Switch 2. Not lying here. This original Switch, OG, day one, and guess what? Switch 2. Yes, I had that too. So it's not like I don't have alternatives. I have alternatives that my kids could play, but it's different. These are what I would consider traditional screen time. There are a few games on the Switch, none on the Switch 2, that actually take full advantage of the motion that I know of yet. But the Switch, there are a few games, not too many, but none of the games are like the ones from Nex. The Nex games are true games where it gets the whole body moving. So your kids aren't just sitting here playing this. Most of the games on Switch play like this, or in front of TV, remote control, everything. It's screen time. You know, that's the non-active kind. Yes, the brains are moving. It's, you know, I know there's studies that have said that, you know, gaming could be good, but there's also gaming can be bad. But the Nex takes all of that out of the way. None of that. These games just gets your body moving. So they're not even fun, but they're also being active. So I think that's the part that many of you guys who are saying get the Switch is not really seeing, is that it's different. I know, I own all of it. I mean, I own the PS5 as well. Yeah, so I own quite a bit of video game system, as I consider myself a gamer. So let me know down below in the comment section, what do you think? Is the Nex Playground worth it? Or do you think the Switch is something better? Or maybe it's you really like Nex Playground, but you really just don't like the subscription model. Personally, I'm not a big fan of subscriptions either. I can probably count on one hand the amount of subscriptions I have, which is Netflix, the Nex Playground, Google Drive, as well as, you know, Apple for my phone. So I think that's the only 4 I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure I have another subscription somewhere I'm paying I can't think of, but not too many subscriptions, and because they all add up. So I hope this video helps you make a better decision, or maybe it opens your mind up to why many people have been enjoying this. Because I say many because I think they've sold quite a few. I can't remember the exact number. I'll put it down somewhere after I look it up. If you still have more questions about the Nex Playground, I have another video here that talks about some of the more frequently asked questions I got, like can this thing be played offline, etc. and stuff like that. So go check that video out if you haven't watched it, and I'll see you in the next one.